Hi, and welcome to another workshop update. Let's get to it. So this is pretty much the final of Robocop now. As you can see, we've got the lights on there, and we've also got the soundboard installed. So here we go.
Come quietly or there will be trouble. Drop it! Dead or alive, you are coming with me. Your move, creep.
And then we just have some sound effects of Robo. He should start shooting his gun in a minute. But it turned out really well, this one. It was a recast which I used, which I'll show you a few of the kits that have come in. And that's pretty much it. It does do the theme tune afterwards. It just walks off, so if we skip to that one, but it's very, very low if I put the camera to where the speaker's coming from, but it is really low, although you can hear it, but yeah, that's pretty much Robo finished now. It's got the bottom bit of plastic on the bottom to hide all the electronics. I just need to put some felt on the bottom and then this guy's done. But yeah, that's Robo. So yeah, well, let's move on. So, as you guys know already, I have two recasts of ED209, which I've shown you I think twice already. And it's kind of like my holy grail kit, because I just love the idiosyncrasies of that actual robot, because it's just utterly daft. And a couple of weeks ago I was on eBay searching around, and I came across this guy. I managed to actually find an original Horizon kit, which I thought was fantastic. Now normally these kits are quite expensive, and you know, it wasn't cheap, don't get me wrong, but I did get a good deal with this, because not only did I get that with but I also got a Robocop Horizon kit with it as well. So I basically got two kits for the price of one, basically. The only reason I got this cheap was this one had already been started. Now that's always a gamble when it says, you know, partly constructed. But yeah, when I opened the box, luckily it wasn't too bad. Obviously the guy who had this before, who started building it, didn't know what he was doing, luckily. And yeah, so if we take a look inside the box, this is a big fella. All the parts are nice and straight, which is great. There's only a few little areas that need attention, but as you can see on the head here, I think it looks like he's used like a epoxy sculpt or something, but I literally took this out of the box and just snapped it in two. It wasn't glued very well. The only things that have been glued are sort of like the feet, which I'm not fussed about that because it saves me doing it. At least he's used super glue on that, so it's not going to go anywhere. But another thing with this kit, you might see that it's actually a bit yellow. When I pulled this guy out of the packaging, it was horrendous. It was really sticky, and it was just covered in hair. I mean, it looked like a Wookiee. That's how hairy this thing was. It was just, God knows where it had been. It looked like it had been living on someone's carpet for a few years. But all the detail on it is very sharp, and it looks great. All the bolts are there. I mean, if you compare this to the recast that I've got, there's no comparison. This is obviously, it's an original, it's going to be better. But yeah, fantastic. I'm really happy with that, and I kind of want to get going with that. But obviously you know and I know we've got Voyager, which is going to take a lot of my time up doing just Voyager, which we'll get to in a minute or two. I'll just pop Ed back in his box. But luckily, I mean, Ed, he wasn't super glued or anything like that. The guy had just put it together, obviously to like keep it so you could keep him posable. The Robocop kit is, you know, that's excellent. What I like about this Horizon kit is you get the head, but this helmet is a separate piece, so you can either have it on or you can take it off, which I thought was great. So we'll get around to them kits as well. But anyway, let's move on. It's out of control! And here we go. Yeah, this is going to be a really big project. What I'll do is I'll take you through some of the stuff that we've got. I only need a few little things now before I can actually start going. But first of all, I need to thank Richard at Donuts in Space. I was racking my brains on searching for styrene, and I just couldn't find the right dimensions to use, because I've got loads of styrene here which will be used on the ship as well, but it was this, and I asked Richard because he did updates on his Voyager, and you know, Richard, you've got like the memory of a Vulcan. I don't know how you do it, but he actually gave me the product code, which is there off by heart straight away. He answered me straight away. I thought, oh, we'll have a go, and yeah, straight away, plastrut, there it was. So thank you very much, Richard. It's unbelievable how you memorised that, but there we go. But yeah, I've got some styrene together. We've got sheet styrene. Also, for the people on Facebook, I got about 4 people saying, what are the googly eyes for? Well, again, that's John Petrie I was talking to about his Voyager. Because if you look on the studio model, let's have a look. I've got a nice picture here of it. The anti-collision light here has a little dome on it, and also a little washer here which I'm using. Now at the moment I've only got these washers, which they are small, but they're not quite small enough. But I've recently found some other washers which I'll probably go ahead and get. And if I try and give you a quick demo whether this will work or not, I don't know. But we'll roughly put that in the middle. And then our googly eyes are going to be the clear dome that you see on the picture. Now these are 3mm. They are a tad big, but again, trying to find like a 1.5mm clear dome, you know, it's giving me a lot of headache, and I just can't find it. In fact, to make my life easier, I'll get the old tweezers out, and we'll just pull that there. Ah, bloody hell. But this will give you some idea. I'll just move the camera, guys, and I'll give you a close-up of that. There's no way you'll see it. But there we go for the studio model. So we've got that little ring, going around, and then we've got the dome. There we go. Now, like I said, the washer is a tad big, but I've found some smaller ones which will be ideal. So if we look again at the studio model, so we've got that little washer there and the dome. Now obviously the dome itself is on the large size, but I can sand that down to make it shorter, and it's not a million miles out. It may do, and also we have one, the anti-collision light at the front. I'll just pop it back on to try it. So, googly eyes. Because John, he used the clear domes from the NX01 1350 kit. Now I don't have one of them, and I'm not buying a 1350 scale NX01 kit just for some domes, because that's just insane. But that might do. I mean, the washers are a tad big, but I have found smaller ones, so that's good. As for the clear domes on the googly eyes, I might have to just make do with that, or see what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to look for like toys, like in the pound shop or something, that I could dismantle and take like domes off that. But at the moment, that's where I'm at. Literally all I need to do now with this kit is I need to print off some more reference pictures, because I ran out of ink, but I've just got some more, so I need to print off some more pictures of the studio model. We've also got our speed boat shuttles. I would like to light these, but as you can see, I mean, they are tiny. But it may be possible if I ground out the underside, because these come with decals, which is even insane. So they just need painting white and decaling basically. The landing gear's arrived, that comes with decals, which is great. But yeah, about the ship itself, it's going to be landed on a planet. So we've got all our landing gear hatches, one there, so we'll be cutting them out. But the problem that I'm thinking about now is how to actually run my wires into the ship. Because what I'm planning to do, I'll just move you around here a second. What I want to do with this is I want to have daytime running lights and nighttime running lights. So basically all that is warm white and cool white lights, and you can just switch between the two. But I'm just trying to figure out how I'm going to do that, because originally I was going to just hollow out a landing strut and run my wires through there, but this is extremely thin and I don't think I'd be able to do that. I mean, I could always do it through the centre, but then you're going to see the wires and it doesn't look like that in the show. So I'm going to have a think about that, but you know, I'm not at that stage yet anyway. I'm still getting pieces together. I need to head down to the pound shop, get myself some black paint and white paint to light block this before I can even start drilling out all these, because you don't want to drill all your windows out then light block it, because you'll get paint bleed through and it'll just mess it up quick. So we want to keep away from all that. But to give you an idea, we're going to have a port nacelle. Which one will that be? This one. So the port nacelle here, I'm going to be cutting out little sections, removing them and building an interior both on the top and the bottom side. So the port nacelle won't be lit, not the chiller grill anyway. The starboard nacelle, yeah, we'll have that lit, why not? But the port is going to be all in bits. We'll have warp coils on display, and we'll also have one of our little speed boats just flying above like that, lowering warp coils into position. So that's the idea that I'm flirting with at the moment. We'll have the hangar bay all opened up and all lit and looking nice, probably a few shuttles. I also want to get my hand on some figures as well for this. which are going to be microscopic in scale. But we're going to place them around as well on the hull and what have you, doing some work. For the nacelle itself, I'm thinking of actually doing some lighting effects in the port nacelle. Maybe like a welding torch effect like we had with the X-Wing, just in the background. So you're not going to see, you're going to see the light cast through the nacelle, but you're not actually going to see the actual light source. So it just looks like there's something happening in there. Reference material wise, I've even got the Eagle Moss Voyager, which, to be fair, isn't really that helpful, if I'm honest. It does have some interesting stuff, like the aero wing. See, I was planning on removing that piece from the saucer and having the aero wing flying around, but I don't want it too busy, because I want to have people focusing. Oh, here we go, look, something along the lines of that, you see, where they've got the warp coils on, and they've even got a shuttle there. So that's pretty much what I'm going to be aiming for. But yeah, all that good stuff. I've lost my train of thought, but never mind. But yeah, that's basically Voyager. Just move it back. Lots of stuff to be getting on with this. I'm really looking forward to getting going. I wish I could get going on it, but I'm going shopping tomorrow for all the final stuff for this. So hopefully by Monday I'll be cracking on with it. I'm just going to print off some more pictures of the studio model and start planning on how I'm going to actually light this, as in getting the power into it. Because another alternative that I do have is to make a left and right leg positive and negative by just putting a piece of metal or wire sticking through there and contacting the surface of the diorama, which will give it the power. But as yet, I'm not entirely sure yet. On another note regarding this, if you remember the General Lee, which is over here all packed up ready to go, the glass was too small for this. I don't know if I mentioned it or not before, but I was a bit cheeky. Well, I wouldn't say it was cheeky, because they did mess me around. So what I've done is I've asked whether I could keep that piece of glass. So the good news with this one, when the Voyager is finished, it's already got a display case. So now I just need to like match up the space that's inside with the glass so it doesn't look ridiculous. So I'll probably have to put like a mountainside at the back of it and just have it presented in the middle like that, so the glass doesn't look out of place. But yeah, that's it for now. What else? I think that's about it. So yeah, I'll see you in a bit.